Okay. So, we were discussing the limit of functions, and the way we have defined is we say the limit of this function f x when x tends to c is say L, where x is not equal to say c, will not be equal to c. The meaning of this is that for every given epsilon greater than 0, for a given epsilon greater than 0, there exists a delta which will depend on epsilon such that if x belongs to the set A is any set, f is a mapping, from A to R. Okay. So, x belongs to A, but x is not equal to C. X satisfy this condition, x minus c is less than delta. So, for a given epsilon greater than, there exists a delta depend on epsilon such that for all x which lies between this interval, then the value of f x minus L will remain less than epsilon. So, this is the way we have defined this. Now, if we look this definition, then it can be easily converted in the form of the neighborhoods, because what is this? The neighborhood of this C or delta neighborhood of C, which is nothing but what is the set of those point x such that mod x minus c is less than delta. Okay. Now, in this, if I remove the c, then we say the point x is not equal to c. So, 0 is less than mod x minus c less than delta means x belongs to V delta c, but x is not equal to c. So, it lies in the delta neighborhood of c, and the f x minus L, similarly f x minus L is less than epsilon means that f x belongs to the epsilon neighborhood of L, because the meaning of this is that f x lies between L plus epsilon and L minus epsilon. So, f x lies between this. It means that if we have this function, say this is our function f x, and here is the point C, the value, this is L. So, what he says is the limit of the function f x when x tends to C B mean for a given epsilon greater than 0. It means if I consider a neighborhood B epsilon L, that epsilon neighborhood of L, then corresponding to this neighborhood we can find a delta neighborhood of C, C minus delta, C plus delta, where C may not be included in it. Then what this limit says is for any arbitrary point x which lies between this interval and different from C, the corresponding image f x will always fall within this net. Okay. Then we say limit of the function f x exists. Okay. If it is not, then obviously this will not, the limit of the function f x when x tends to A will not exist. It means that for all there will exist some epsilon neighborhood of L such that for any x we choose, there will be an x where the limit of the value of the function will lie outside of this range if it does not exist. So, what we can that we can also write the equivalent definition of the limit in terms of the, we can also express limit concept in terms of the neighborhood. Okay. So, this we can write in the form of the theorem. The theorem is, let f is a mapping from A to R, and let C and let us see, be a crystal point of A, then the following statements are equivalent. The first statement is limit of the function f x when x tends to c is say L, and second statement says given any epsilon neighborhood of L, which we denoted by that is V epsilon L, VL, there exists a delta neighborhood denoted by V delta C, delta neighborhood of C such that if x is not equal to c is any point in the common portion of V delta C intersection A in a part of this, then f x belongs to epsilon neighborhood of L. And that what I explained in this figure is that for any epsilon greater than 0 of or in any epsilon neighborhood of L, correspondingly we can find out a delta neighborhood of C such that if x, which is different from C, lies in this interval, then the image will fall here. That is the meaning. So, both are equivalent definition. Okay. Let us take few example using the epsilon delta definition. Suppose I wanted to show that prove it the limit of the function x square as x tends to c is c square using epsilon delta definition. Okay. So, what is our function? So, here the function f x is x square, L is c square. Okay. So, what we want is for epsilon we will choose first. So, let epsilon be given. So, given any epsilon greater than 0, then identify the delta. We have to identify delta, so that this condition holds. It means we want this difference f x minus L should lie in this neighborhood. So, what is the f x minus L? So, f x minus L, L means C L, that is equal to x square minus c square. Basically, this is x plus c into x minus c. This will be the okay. Now, when we take x sufficiently close to c, then the limit of this must be c square. That what is. So, how close c is means any number which is less than 1 we can choose. So, suppose I take, let us take mod x minus c less than 1 first. Why? Because this x, in this case x is lying or close to c, which is less than. Okay. So, if I take this one, then the bond for this x plus 1, then we get from here is, or mod x can be written as this, because mod x minus 1 is less than 1. So, it is greater than equal to mod x minus mod c, and then mod x will be less than is mod c plus 1. Therefore, mod x plus c, the value of this will be less than equal to mod x plus mod c, but mod x is less than mod c. So, it is mod c plus 1. This we get it from here, just this by manipulation we are doing, so that we can get the bond for it. Now, what we are interested is, we are interested to get this f x minus L, which is the same as x square minus c square, which is the same as x plus c, x minus c to be less than epsilon. We are interested in this. Now, x plus c bond is already less than 2a. So, basically this mod x plus c mod x minus c. When mod x minus c is less than 1, then the bond for mod x is obtained from here. So, we can get this is less than basically 2 times mod c plus 1. This is less than mod 2 times mod c plus 1 into mod x minus c. Okay. Now, this entire thing we wanted to be less than epsilon, this we wanted. So, if I choose mod x minus c to be less than epsilon over 2 times mod c plus 1 and then use this bond here, then what we get is this element less than epsilon. It means this will imply that mod of x square minus c square will remain less than epsilon. Is it right? So, that is f x minus L is less than epsilon, but what should be the delta? So, it means that if we picked up from here, then choose delta to be the value which is infimum of 1 and epsilon over 2 mod c plus 1, because you are getting the 2 bond for delta. One is x minus c is less than delta, delta is 1. Here also you are saying x minus c is 2 this. So, if I choose the delta which is minimum of these 2, then for this particular delta, this result will also hold, this result will also hold. That is, for a given epsilon, we can identify this delta, that if any x belongs to this a mod x minus epsilon less than delta, then this will continue whenever mod x minus c is less than delta, and of course, greater than 0 because it is not. So, what they show? This shows the limit of the function x square when x tends to c is c square. That is the answer for it. Okay. So, our main idea is when it is asked to prove or establish the limit by using the epsilon delta definition, what we consider, we start with a given epsilon, and then with the help of epsilon we will identify delta which depends on epsilon. So, the idea is that find out f x minus L, try to get the bond for this in terms of f mod x minus c less than some number. So, this bond can be obtained as this. So, delta we can identify. Once you identify delta, obviously it depends on epsilon. So, corresponding to this epsilon, if I choose this delta, it means if I take this neighborhood x minus c less than delta. So, obviously this delta is also less than 1, as well as delta is less than this number. So, we can take the bond, we can definitely find out the bond for this, and one can say this limit, this difference is less than epsilon, hence the proof is. So, this is the way to compute show the limit by using the epsilon delta definition. Let us take one more example where we are also using some trick to get. Suppose I asked to show limit of this say x cube x cube minus 4 divided by x square plus 1 when x tends to 2 is 4 by 5. Suppose we are interested to show this using epsilon delta definition. Okay. Suppose I do not say using delta because this is 2. So, you can substitute x equal to 2 and one can get the value of this easily. But if it is asked to you apply the epsilon delta definition, then you have to start with a given epsilon greater than 0 and then suitably identify the delta. That is the thing. Okay. So, what is our, this is our function f x, here f x is x cube minus 4 over x square plus 1 and L is 4 by 5. So, let for given epsilon greater than 0, let us consider first the difference of f x minus L. This f x minus L is x cube minus 4 x square plus 1 minus 4 by 5, and if we find that solve it, then the value will come out to be 5 x cube minus 4 x square minus 24 divided by 5 x square plus 1, this mod. Now, here the numerator is 1 unit higher than the denominator. So, what we do first, we separate out the factors. Now, if we look the numerator, x equal to 2 satisfied here, x is 2 means 80 minus 16 minus 24. So, 40 minus 16 minus it satisfies. It means x equal to 2 will be a factor of this equation equal to 0. So, we can separate out the x minus 2 factor from the numerator. So, if I separate out, the things will come out to be mod of f x minus L. This is nothing but mod 5 x square plus 6 x plus 12 divided by 5 x square plus 1 into mod of x minus 2. Up to here there is no problem. Now, we wanted to establish the limit of this is in fact, f x minus L must go to 0 when x is sufficient tending to 2. This is our problem. So, it means x minus 2 should be as small as we please, and x may not be equal to 2 also. So, let us find the bound for this first. Bound for this requires the value of x, upper and lower bound for x. So, how to get the upper and? So, let us take x minus 2 is suppose less than 1. Let us take this one restriction. So, if we restrict this one, then what will be the x? X will lie between 3 and because x minus 2 is less than 1. So, x is less than 2 or 2 minus x. So, again it is. So, it lies between x lies between 1 and 2, 1 and 3. So, this will be the bound for this, isn't x minus 2 lies between minus 1 and plus 1. So, minus 1 plus 2 will give this one and we get this. Okay. So, this is the bound for this. Okay. Is it clear? We got 2 minus x less than 1. So, 2 plus 1. Okay. So, that will be greater. So, this one it means x is lying between this. So, what will be the upper bound for this? 5 x square plus 6 x plus 12. This will be less than x is 3 bounded. So, it is 5 into 9 is plus 6 into 3 plus 12. That is the upper value for this, upper bound for this, and that upper bound we can identify that is equal to what? 75. And what is the 5 x square plus 1, because in the denominator. So, write down the lower bound of this. So, it is greater than 5 into 1 plus 1, that is 10. It means this mod of f x minus L can be made less than 75 by 10 mod x minus 2. That is equal to what? Is nothing but the 15 by 2 mod x minus 2. So, first mod we have written like this, that is delta 1 you can say. Second bound we will start from here, because this entire thing we wanted to be less than epsilon. So, if I choose mod x minus 2 is less than say epsilon 2 by 15, less than this. So, as soon as you write this thing, then all quantity will remain less than epsilon. So, now picked up the delta as the infimum of 1 and this number. Then with this delta, so if we take this delta as this, then this condition is satisfied as well this condition is satisfied. Therefore, mod of f x minus L, that is equal to what? Mod of x cube, the problem was x cube minus 4 divided by x square plus 1 minus 4 by 5. This thing will be less than epsilon provided the x minus 2 is less than delta and greater than 0, because x may not be 2, but here of course, it no problem, we can also take 2, there is no problem here. Okay. So, we can choose them. Therefore, the limit of this x cube minus 4 over x square plus 1 as x tends to 2 is 4 by 5, and that is proved. So, this way we can prove it, the that is our limit problems. So, this is the fourth. Okay. Third. Okay. Now, there is another way of defining the limit, that is the sequential definition of the limit, sequential criteria, sequential criteria for limits of functions, limit of functions. Sequence. What is the sequence? This is in the form of theorem. The theorem says, let f mapping from A to R and let C be a cluster point, of A, then the following are equivalent. So, first is limit of f x when x tends to say C is L. Second is for every sequence, x n in A that converges to C, such that x n is not equal to C for all n belongs to capital N natural number, then the sequence f of x n, this sequence converges to L, So, both are equivalent, means the limit of f x when x tends to A C is L, means for any given epsilon greater than 0 such that f x minus L less than epsilon whenever mod x minus C less than and x is different from C. This is equivalent to say there will be a sequence in A which goes to C, and then the corresponding image f x n will go to L. That is proof. So, first we will show first implies 2. Given limit exists, limit of f x when x tends to C is L. So, by definition when the limit exists, so by definition what is that definition is that for a given epsilon greater than 0, by definition for given epsilon greater than 0 there exists a delta which depends on epsilon positive value such that for all x, such that if x belongs to A, x is not equal to C and satisfy this condition 0 less than mod x minus C less than delta, then f x satisfies the condition mod f x minus L is less than epsilon. Okay, this is given. Now, further we wanted to show 1 implies 2. So, 1 is given, that we get this much information. Now, let us say the 2. From 2 what is known is, we know the sequence x n that converges to C. So, let us add given further from 2, so tells sequence x n in A converges every sequence, for every sequence in A that converges to C, for every sequence x n in A that converges to C, such that x n is not equal to C. So, when x n converges to C, it means for again for a given say a small number, say I take the delta, for a given delta we can identify a capital N M such that when m is greater than equal to capital K or capital M, then difference of x n minus C will remain less than epsilon. So, by definition, for given delta greater than 0, there exists a K depending on delta such that if n is greater than K, n is greater than K which depends on delta, then mod of x n minus C will remain less than delta. Is it not? That by definition when x n converges to C, this is by definition too. But for this particular x n, the result of the previous say this f x tends to alpha limit says this condition, when all such x which satisfy this condition, the mod of f x minus L less than epsilon. So, this x n will also satisfy this condition. Therefore, from the previous mod of f x n minus C will also remain less than say f x n minus this is less than L epsilon. Is it not? For such x n, this will satisfy this condition. Okay. And this is true for what? For all n greater than capital K. So, it means the limit of f x n, this is L, sorry, limit of f x n is nothing but L. So, this shows the sequence f x n converges to L. That is all. Second converse part, to show this implies hence 1 implies 2. To show 2 implies 1. This be proved by contradiction. Suppose 2 is true holds, but 1 is not true. Suppose 1 does not hold. It means that is the limit of this function f x when x tends to L, x tends to C does not exist. Does not exist or does not go to L, is not L. Suppose this limit is not equal to L, okay, does not exist or is not L. Okay, we can say like this. So, if it is not L or different from L, it means what do you mean by that? It means that if 1 is not true, then there exists. So, there exists epsilon naught neighborhood of L, that is V L epsilon naught, such that no matter what delta neighborhood of f c, we may be pick up there at least one number, we may get one number say x depends on say delta in the set A intersection V delta C with x delta is not equal to C, such that f of x delta does not belongs to the neighborhood epsilon naught neighborhood of L. That is the meaning of this is when the limit of this does not exist. If I go through again, let us say the definition of the limit where we made a criteria, you remember this one, first one. When we say the limit of this exists is equivalent to this, it means for a given epsilon, that is when we take the epsilon neighborhood of L, corresponding to we can find a delta neighborhood such that image of any point inside is. And let us think the converse. Suppose limit is not equal to L, does not exist or is not L. It means if we picked up the sum epsilon, there will be at least some epsilon naught neighborhood of L will definitely exist, such that whatever the delta neighborhood we choose, whatever there will definitely one point whose image will not fall inside it. That is the exact meaning of this. Okay. So, we get this. This does not fall. It means what? That is for every, hence for every n, the 1 by n neighborhood of C, that is V 1 by n C, contains a number, x delta, this number x delta or x n, contains a number x delta, that is x n, or we can say x n corresponding to this x n, such that 0 less than mod x n minus c less than 1 by n, and x n belongs to A, but mod of f x n minus L is greater than or equal to epsilon naught. That is the mean, is it not? So, there does not hold means for any there exists epsilon naught neighborhood of L, such that whatever the delta neighborhood of C we choose, there will exist one point x n whose image will not fall within the epsilon neighborhood of L. So, that is why this shows the sequence x n is not this implies that f x n will not converge, is it not? So, this implies that the sequence f x n will not converge to L, okay. But that contradiction, that is x n does not converge to L, but that contradiction, because this contradicts the assumption second, because second assumption says that for every sequence x n that converges to C, such that for all n the sequence f n converges to L. This we are assuming, and we wanted to prove 1. So, what we have instead of showing that 1 is 2, we are assuming 2 is 2, but 1 does not hold. So, 1 does not hold, that leads the contradiction of the 2. Therefore, our assumption is wrong. So, if 2 is 2, 1 will definitely hold. So, definitely 2 implies 1. So, therefore, 2 implies 1. So, this completes the proof. Okay. So, that is what now, just like in a sequence, we have some criteria for the divergence of the sequence. In a similar way, here also we have a criteria for divergence of the limit, that if the limit does not exist, what is the criteria for it. Okay. So, let us see the divergence criteria. Let A be a non-empty subset of R, and let F is a mapping from A to R, and let C be a cluster point, C have a cluster point of A. Point of A. Okay. Then the criteria says if L belongs to R, then F does not have limit L at C if and only if there exists a sequence x n, if and only if there exists a sequence x n in A there exists a sequence x n in A with x n different from C for all n belongs to the set of natural numbers such that the sequence x n converges to C, but the corresponding images, but the sequence of f x n means corresponding images f of x n, the sequence of corresponding images does not converge to L. So, this is the criteria for the divergence. Limit of the function f x when x tends to is not equal to L, it means this will exist. Okay. Now, let us see few example where the sequence of the function or the limit of the function does not exist, which are very interesting examples and used very used frequently in further study. So, first is example. The limit of this, obviously the limit x tends to 0, signum of x does not exist. It means what? First, the signum, what is the signum of this? Signum function means it is basically sign of the function. So, when x is positive, the value will be 1. When x is 0, the sign of this we consider just a 0. When x is negative, we put it to be minus 1. So, this is the signum function. That is, a function is obviously this is our line. So, when this 0, when x is 0, the function is 1, x is negative, function is minus 1, and at the point 0 we take to be 0. The limit of this signum function when x approaches to 0 does not exist. So, when we approach from the left hand side or we approach from the right hand side, limit will not come out to be the same. Okay. In fact, before this I should prove that whenever the limit of the function f x exists, the limit will be unique, that I will show just after this. So, here the limit will not unique. Let us see why. It means, if I take a sequence x n which goes to 0, but the corresponding function sigma x n does not go to that 0. So, let us choose the sequence x n as minus 1 to the power n. Obviously, this sequence will go to 0 as n tends to infinity. What is the signum of this sequence x n? The signum of this sequence x n, when n is obviously even, it is positive, when n is odd, it is negative, and when so with positive and even number, it is a positive value plus 1, when n is negative, it is a negative value. Okay. With 1 we want minus 1 plus 1. So, basically it is the same as this, that is when n is even you are getting plus 1, when n is odd you are getting minus 1, and this well limit we get it. So, for all n belongs to n. Now, limit of this it does not exist, because it varies. When n tends to infinity, it goes to 1 as well as minus 1, when n sequence approach towards the even, when n is odd. So, there are the terms of the sequence which goes to plus 1 even, minus 1 odd. So, nearby this 0 interval, there is a variation of 2, and variation of 2, it cannot be less than epsilon, because we want this thing to be less than epsilon. I choose epsilon to be half. How the variation can be less than half? When the variation is from minus 1 to plus 1, there are exactly 2. Okay. So, this limit does not exist, therefore, similarly, another example if I take, suppose I take limit of this x tends to 0, sin of 1 by x does not exist in R. Again sine function, if I look the sine function, the graph of the sine function is something like this. This is 0, it go +1 and -1 maximum. So, we can get this thing, sorry, this is like this and something like that, then coming from here and similarly here, but as soon as 0 it fluctuates very, okay, it fluctuates too much, and basically you are getting this thing like this and so on like this, something like means nearby 0 it jumps, keep on jumping, going up down, going up and down like this. So, we get the fluctuation and the fluctuation very thicky around the point 0. We are claiming this limit does not exist. It means along the two different path, if the limit of the sequence has different value and both the paths tending to 0, then obviously the limit will not exist. So, let us take the limit x n, choose x n to be 1 by n pi, and suppose another sequence by n, if I take 1 by pi by 2 plus 2 n pi. Now, both the things are tending to 0, this is also tending to 0, this is also tending to 0 as n tends to infinity. So, these sequences are converging towards 0, that is mod of x n minus 0 is less than delta. Now, for this sequence, what is the f of x n? If I take f of x n, f x is sin 1 by x. So, what will be the f of x n? F of x n is 0, because when x n is 1 upon n pi, the corresponding sine of n pi and sine integral multiple of pi is 0, while f of by n, this is sine of 2 n pi plus pi by 2, that is always sine pi by 2. So, this will be 1. So, it means the along one point it is 0, sequence along another point the limit of this is 1. So, it does not exist, therefore, limit of this does not exist. Okay. Now, here as I told that we are assuming the limit is unique, is it not? Limit cannot be true. If the limit of the function exists, it will be unique. So, let us prove that result is and all these exercise which we have depends on this only. Okay. So, this we should prove it earlier, but however, if f is a mapping from A to R, and if C is the crystal point of A, and if C is the crystal point of A, then F can have only one limit at C. We cannot have the two limits. So, proof is, again we will prove by contradiction. Suppose there are two limits, okay. Then finally, we will see that these two limits are not different, they are identical. So, let the effects of this when x tends to C is, suppose let this limit be L and L dash, okay, L and L dash, suppose this is. So, limit of this f x is L when x tends to C, limit of f x when x tends to C is also L dash. Okay. So, apply the definition now. So, for a given epsilon L greater than 0, there exists at delta 1 depending on epsilon L such that if x belongs to A and 0 is less than mod x minus C less than delta, then delta 1, then mod of f x minus L, let it be epsilon L by 2 here, okay. Delta 1 which depends on epsilon L by 2, suppose f x minus L is less than epsilon L by 2, okay, for all x this. Similarly, here for the same epsilon L greater than 0, there exists at delta 2 which depends on epsilon L by 2 such that if x belongs to A and x lying between x minus C less than delta 2, okay, then mod of f x minus L is less than L dash is less than epsilon by 2 for all such. Okay. Now, consider mod L minus L. Consider delta to be the infimum of delta 1 and delta 2. So, if I choose replace delta 1 by delta, then this result will also hold. If I choose delta 2 by delta, again this result will hold. So, now consider mod of L minus L dash. Now, this is less than equal to, add and subtract this. So, we can write f x minus L plus f x minus L dash, but f x minus L is less than epsilon L. So, for all x belongs to A and 0 less than x minus c less than delta, this is also less than epsilon L by 2, this is also less than, that is this less than when this result is. Okay. So, what it shows that this implies L is equal to L, because epsilon is arbitrarily small. So, we can get L equal to L, that is the limit will be unique. So, if a functional value f x when x tends to c has a two different limit along the two different path which are approaching to c, then the function will not have a limit at that point. So, that is what, and then such a case we say it is a diverging function diverges at x c. Okay? That is okay. Because diverge does not mean that function limit of this must go to infinity only. It is also one of the criteria when the limit of the function f x when x tends to c is say infinity, it means the function itself is not defined at infinity at the point, okay, and the limit is coming to be infinite. So, it is not finite, but even if it is finite and different, we having different value at a different along the different path, still we say then we say the function f x does not have a limit at x equal to c. So, that is the criteria for this. Okay. Now, this we have discussed. Now, there are few more results over the limits, and that we have seen in parallel to, this will be parallel to our the theorems as we have discussed in case of sequences. Okay. So, before that let us see the definition of the boundedness. Let A is a non-empty subset of R and F, and let F is a mapping from A to R, and let C be a cluster point, of A, be a cluster point of A, C be a cluster point A. We say F is bounded on a neighborhood of C, bounded on a neighborhood of C if there exists and if bounded on a neighborhood, if there exists a delta neighborhood of C, that is B delta C, delta neighborhood of C, and a constant capital M greater than 0, such that mod of f x is less than or equal to m for all x belonging to A intersection V delta C. If this is true, then we say the function f x is a bounded function, is bounded in the neighborhood of C, Okay. If the function has a limit, then it will always be bounded. Okay. So, the result is if A, which is non-empty subset of R, and F is a mapping from A to R and let has a limit at C, has a limit at C belongs to R, then the function f is bounded on some neighborhood of C. Some neighborhood of C is bounded on some neighborhood of C. Let us see the proof of this result. So, if the limit of the function f exists, then the function f must be bounded in some neighborhood of C. Okay. So, suppose f is the limit, let if L is the limit of f x when x tends to C, this is given. Okay. So, let us by definition, so for a given epsilon I choose epsilon to be 1, for a given epsilon greater than 0, because it is already get 0, there exists a delta which will depend on epsilon positive such that 0, if 0 is less than mod x minus c less than delta, then by definition mod of f x minus L is less than 1. Now, from here can you not say the mod of f x is less than mod L plus 1. Okay. So, I choose m to be, so here m can be chosen as mod L plus 1, then for all x in the neighborhood of this it is there. In case if C also belongs to A, in case if C belongs to A, then what we do is we choose, we can take m to be the supremum value of mod f c and this bond and this bond. So, if I choose this, then all this function f x will satisfy this condition for all x in some neighborhood of C. That is intersection A. Okay. So, this will prove that. Okay, thank you very much. This is we will continue again for few more results on this sequence. Thank you.